So what advice would you give someone who wants to do what you do?
Um, in what way? Like there's a lot of different advice that I could probably give.
Well, let's say I was coming to you on LinkedIn and I say, Lauren, I want to be a data analyst and I'm a clinician now, and I want to move out of that space, whether I'm staying within healthcare or doing something totally different in healthcare. What steps do I need to take? What's the next move for me?
So I would definitely say start working on courses. I think that the big thing is always you need Excel, SQL, and some kind of data visualization tool. So a course or courses that encompass all of that. Start working as soon as you can on projects. So find a data set that interests you or find a data set that you can work with and put what you're learning to that project and show that you have the skills. And at the same time, it kind of reinforces your learning. I would say start networking on LinkedIn, reach out to other data analysts who are, who have transitioned or who are in that field and talk to them about like what their day-to-day looks like. Make sure it's something that really interests you. Ask any data analyst for any advice, because one of the things that I've seen is that we all get to the same place in such vastly different ways. There are plenty of people that I've spoken to who started out as a teacher or started out as, one of the people that I talk to a lot, her name is Annie, and she was an OT student and she found data in the middle of her grad school and she got into data after grad school. She didn't even go into OT. But so many of us get to this position in a different way. And so there's so many different paths you can take. So talk to as many people as you can and try to kind of determine what path works for you. Revamp the resume, make sure that you're showcasing those data skills that you definitely have. You just maybe are not showcasing and displaying in the right way right now. And I think I think that applying strategically to jobs, make sure that it's a company that you would be interested in working for, but play to your strengths. And, I think that one of the things that I realized was that first job, as long as it gets your foot in the door, it does not have to be your forever job.
Right.
I knew very, very early on that at some point in time, I would want to be out of the healthcare space entirely. And I didn't think it was going to happen quite as quickly as it did. But I also knew healthcare is a great way for me to, or getting into a health insurance company is a great way for me to leverage the skills that I already possess. So I think it's a combination of all those things: learning the skills, demonstrating the skills, networking, doing all of that stuff, and really being, I'm trying to think of the right word, being strategic, being very much no, figure out what the path is and then follow that path. One of the things that I did that I would not recommend people do is I took probably 8 different courses on SQL, and I always started from the very, very, very beginning. And once you learn that very first SQL statement, it's you do not need to go back and relearn it 7 times because it's going to be the exact same thing. And I didn't really have that strategic course plotted out of, okay, I'm going to take this course and then this course and then this course, and then I'm going to start applying. It was let me do this tutorial, that Udemy course, this certificate program, this tutorial. And it kind of it worked out for me in the end, but it was definitely not the straightest line from learning to job.